Hi guys, my name's Rickard, PGA professional golf coach at Bourne Golf and Country Club in Cambridge. Today what we're going to look at is swing playing. We're going to look at swing playing in three ways. First of all, we're going to have an understanding of what swing playing is. Number two, we're going to look at some key checkpoints, particularly on the backswing, to ensure that you've got a correct swing plane. And thirdly, we're going to look at ways in which you can test to see if you've got the right swing plane, especially at home. So it'll be a test you don't even need to have any golf balls to see if you're doing the right move. Let's get started, shall we?
Right, so what's swing plane? Basically, it's a geometrical term that refers to a flat surface in three-dimensional space that you can see here. Ben Hogan and Herbert Warren Wind made use of this idea with a beautiful illustration in Hogan's renowned book, The Modern Fundamentals of Golf. Here you can see a sheet of glass resting on the player's shoulders and a big red swish underneath. The top part of the swish traces the hand path, the bottom part of the swish traces the club head path. The red swish glides along a flat surface until it reaches the top of the glass plane at the top of the swing. As elegant as that looks, the perspective is false. If we trace the actual hand path and club head path, it will look more like this, as you can see. And now if we join up the dots, we get something that looks more like this. In other words, the swing plane is not flat, but is curved. So, with that in mind, let's see how we can put this into action. To understand what the correct swing plane looks like, we can use some video technology. So here I've recorded myself and I've superimposed two lines onto my setup position from an angle which we call down the line. So the first line, the bottom line, is running parallel with my shaft angle at address, and the top line is running from my club head through my right shoulder. So here are some checkpoints that we can look at from this angle to see if we're swinging on plane. Checkpoint 1 is at the end of the takeaway, which is approximately here. So at this point here, my hands are over my right foot, and my hand, the shaft and the club head, you can see, are still all within this cone that I created with these two green lines. Checkpoint 2 is now when the hands and the club head are parallel with each other. In other words, they're not to the right, but they are on line with each other there, and you can see that at that point there, if we're on a plane, then the shaft will be pointing parallel to the ball to target line, and indeed it is. Checkpoint 3 on the backswing is when the hands are roughly opposite the sternum, as they are here, and at this point the shaft should be pointing down towards the ball, down towards the bottom of that cone. And the final checkpoint that we can look out for is the one we're all familiar with. When we get to the top of the backswing, we should find that the hands and the club head are once again matching up, and the shaft is pointing parallel to the ball to target line, and there we go. Now on a downswing, a couple of checkpoints we can look for. We should see the hands, the shaft and the club head once again move back inside that cone, and then at halfway down we should have a similar position to the one that we had when we were halfway back, with the club head again, the shaft pointing down towards the bottom of this cone and pointing down towards the ball. Then another good checkpoint, a final checkpoint, is when we get to the point where the lead arm, which is the left arm in this case here, is pointing down parallel with the ball to target line, and at that point there the shaft should be running along the top of the right forearm, and from that position there we're bang on plane to deliver the club head through impact and into the finish. One nice point of symmetry that you may have noted, if you haven't, I'll highlight it here, is about the path of our hands. We start with our hands on the bottom green line. As we move through the backswing, the hands move to the top green line, and as we move back through the downswing, the hands move back down at impact to the bottom green line again.
This is what we've been waiting for. This is the low-tech solution. It's two sticks. Okay, they're drill sticks, so they're a little bit fancy. You can buy those from a pro shop. If you haven't got drill sticks, just use any old stick you've got. Maybe you've got some bamboo in the shed. You could use that. Take your time, get it set up properly so that the two sticks represent the two green lines that are in the video. What you can't see is behind the camera. I've got this also lined up with the French window, so I can look in the reflection of the French window to make sure that I'm swinging up and down along the right path. Shall we give it a quick go? There you go, guys. A simple drill you can do in your garden. You don't even need any golf balls, you just need a couple of sticks. And you can practice your swing plane now that you have a better understanding of what it is you're trying to look out for. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to like, to share and to subscribe. And I hope to see you again soon.